All right, in this video, I want to answer some questions about the video I made about Bitcoin Cash on September 26th. I want to read an email exchange that I had with a subscriber named Chris and address his question head on and show you guys my intuition on what's going on, all right? So Chris says, hey Gavin, I'm so happy and grateful now that I found your YouTube channel. I recently bought, I followed you for a couple months and I really enjoy it. I believe in what you do. I recently got the Amazing Liver and Gallbladder Flush by Andres Moritz, and I've done my first liver flush. I would like to know more about your diet and exercise plan and, achieving a lean, aesthetic-looking physical appearance. I also liked your video on a worthy ideal, and I also follow Bob Proctor. And in this email, he says, I want to ask you about your video about Bitcoin and the bull market. Chris says that he's been doing Forex trading and he's living in Cyprus. He's also interested in Bitcoin. He says, Gavin, can I ask you what your divine intelligence is telling you in regards to the share price of Bitcoin Cash? I refer to your subconscious due to your YouTube video about the bull market and telling us that you're from the future. From my awareness and observation, I believe what you're saying. And I want to understand what you see in this area. I also understand that it's only what you think or see in your mind, Gavin. Over and out for now. Today's the best day of the rest of my life. And it's beautiful in my mind. I strive to stay young in spirit and always wish health, peace, love, wealth, and happiness to everyone with gratitude. Chris G. in sunny Cyprus. What just a great, wonderful email exchange I had with Chris. And it helps to really motivate me, inspire me. So thank you, Chris. Let's talk about what's going on with Bitcoin Cash and why I made that video. First things first, you likely look at this objectively like I would. And the first thing you should be asking yourself is, what is this guy's motive? What's Gavin's motive for telling us about this thing? There's got to be something. What's in it for him? Why would he be doing this? What's the motive? That's like an objective person's thought plane. Now, I'll tell you what my motive is, okay? Just so we get that out of the way. And I want to just be really clear on that. Now, I believe, and I was really trained and ingrained to me, that in order to get something, you have to give something. Now, people can always give things in different ways. A lot of people just go out and give something to charity, or they give their time. Others may just give love or give a smile somewhere, or offer to help somebody on the side of the road with a flat tire. But for me, I wanted to give something back, like give something in the way of value to a large audience. Give something freely that I know, because of the power of the law of compensation that Emerson wrote about, that you give something and it actually comes back to you, not in tenfold, not 100-fold, but like 1,000-fold. So I understand this law. I have lived this law. I have received blessings innumerable. So why do I tell you about this now? A burning desire to see others prosper. If it's the larger group, literally the entire planet, humanity, man in general prosper, but especially you guys who follow this channel as subscribers, I want you to be happy and healthy and prosperous, free, financially free in all areas of life. And so by telling you this, if I can help lift others up and help them eliminate the worries of money, just a little bit, even if it's just a little bit, but where they don't have to worry about it anymore, like for the basic things, then I've given back so much in the way of value for just sharing a little bit of information on what I know is coming. The last video that I made, and I'll put it up here so you guys can take a look at it right here so you can click on it. It was on September 26th. And I told you guys about Bitcoin Cash, and I talked about it before in a lot of other videos over the past year, maybe like 3 other videos. But I said now is the time that it's really like, it's time. I wanted to be very clear on what was going on. You know, it's at $508. Now I want you to see something. The video that I made was released here, September 26th. All right? 446. Right around there. Just estimated. It was around in this era. The next day after it came out, this is what happened. It's neutralized since. This is just a small thing, but I mean, I want to get back to Chris and just so he sees this, but I want to talk a lot more on a big picture scale. You know, I'm not going to go over charts. It's not so important, but I just want to point that out as to what happened as soon as I talked about it. This question is definitely worthy of a video so other people can understand my thought process here on an esoteric, spiritual, kind of a woo-woo level. Absolutely. It does come from a subconscious level of understanding where the trends are going. But I didn't want to just leave it like that. If it were 7 years ago, 10 years ago, the Gavin, Mehl back then would have been telling you about the woo-woo side, like the spiritual side. Oh, you know, I believe in my heart and God and all that. And that's, dude, I'm all for that. But when it comes to something like this, I feel like I had to really educate myself from like all angles and take in information. You know, so looking at things from like a full bird's eye view, what I'd say is a big picture perspective, like flying in a freaking plane or like a hawk, looking down, seeing what's going to happen and how it's going to happen. A lot of learning to get technical with things, especially with this new era of cryptography. You know, it's very complex. But I had to learn like what was going on to see what would remain. And ultimately what is going to remain is Bitcoin Cash. Why? You free men are given this information before this all happens. Okay? From my mouth to your ears, into your heart, I'm giving you this information now so you know what's going to happen later. We need a way to transact digitally, anonymously, censorship resistant. A lot of censorship going on out there, guys. You probably already know about it. Non-hacked, something that's not been hacked, not something that's going to be invented. It has to be tried and tested and true. Like, you know, we can't just go on to the next big thing. Oh, something just got invented. It's going to be great. It's just too risky. This is a 10-year journey. 10 years. So Bitcoin Cash, to be very clear, it's BCH, not BTC. BCH. The chain is a 10-year journey. Never been hacked. Digital peer-to-peer electronic money. For the future, from the future, where I'm telling it to you now, what's going to happen. Now listen to this. What happened when PayPal came out? Elon Musk and Peter Thiel put that thing out there many years ago. It was allowed to like send payments online. Solved a major problem. And I love PayPal. I love the people there. I know some of the executives personally, like as friends. I love them. I really do. However, I do believe in freedom, like true freedom, unaltered, uncensored. If somebody wants to say something or do something, let them do it. I don't believe in any sort of censorship. Anything. I don't believe in censorship. As long as it's not physically harming someone or stealing from someone, we're talking natural laws, then I absolutely believe we should never censor someone. But PayPal's been censoring people. God bless them. I mean, there's a great platform out there called Gab, G-A-B. It's a Twitter, kind of a Twitter platform for free speech. As you know, the guys at Twitter are freaking censoring people like crazy. And anyone who's on Twitter knows that. So we have to kind of like go towards a new platform. But now as PayPal's censoring people, basically shutting down their PayPal account where they couldn't use PayPal because they had a different agenda than what PayPal did. Now listen, where is this all going? Well, Chris, anyone else, young man out there, we're going into a world where we're going to continue to transact online, but it's going to be anonymous. It's going to be, like I said, censorship resistant, peer-to-peer, but it must be electronic cash. It must be tried and true, never been hacked. And I'll tell you, I'm not one to like jump on the next big thing. Like I don't want anything to do with the next new thing. Like I'm good. I want something that has never been hacked, safe, secure. Once you understand how the technology works, it's an actual encrypted little keychain wallet. And then you take that and you load your Bitcoin Cash on it, and then you put it in a safe. You don't leave it on your phone. You don't leave it on an exchange somewhere. That's when you're at risk. If you leave it on your phone, you leave it on an exchange or leave it on your computer, and you're not responsible, then you are at risk. But if you're serious about this, you literally load the Bitcoin Cash onto it and put it in a safe somewhere and come back to it around Christmas time. All right? Christmas time. Just be responsible, dude. Check on it on Thanksgiving. Be a good time to really check. See what the heck's happening. And then come Christmas and come January, time to, cash in. I wish that more people that I care about and love really took this seriously. And I guess it's my fault. I always look at this internally because I haven't been outspoken enough about it. So back to what I was saying, like the PayPal thing, right? I want you to look into something, and it's called Money Button. Now, there was a company called yours.org that came out like maybe a year or two ago. They're a blogging platform. It's kind of like Reddit in a way, or a blog. But what they did is they created a blog, and you can vote for. We're kind of like Steam It, if you've heard of that. You can vote, but you tip and pay tip people with Bitcoin Cash, and the blog's done good. But their real invention, the real groundbreaking technology that they were first to market with, was this thing that they're now calling Money Button, which just now launched. What Money Button is it's similar to PayPal, but for Bitcoin. Okay? All it is a one-click, anonymous click, and it's done. The transaction is done. The money's sent. Money Button. No credit card, no costs. I mean, there's a fraction of a mining fee that you do pay the miners, so they deserve every hard-earned cent they get to get it. But literally, and then it gets sent instantaneously. So this is what's going to make it propel, is these little tiny microtransactions on this yours.org and on these things that using things like Money Button, where if you have a website, you could take Money Button. You can be paid in Money Button. I need to start doing that myself. So Money Button is solving these problems of the transfer of assets online instantaneously. And there's a lot of other breakthrough inventions that have come in this space. And I'll tell you right now, technologically, they're happening on Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash next month, in November, what they're going to do is something similar to what Ethereum has already done. That last video that I talked about, Chris, get ready, the bull market's here, let it begin. It begins the next day, right? It literally launches the next day. What's happening is Ethereum, back to what I was saying, when Bitcoin Cash split, small blocks is the BTC group. They want to keep it a 1 megabyte block, slow, expensive transactions. Okay, and just to address BTC, I'm going to come out and tell you right now, BTC Bitcoin is the emperor that has no clothing on. Okay, when you see BTC, it is high fee slow coin. You could just call it high fee coin, high fee slow coin. The top bunch of coins out there, it's at the end in the way of its usability. Now, Bitcoin Cash, on the other hand, is fast, almost instantaneous, almost free, and it's the adoption on it is so massive. So what it's done is, because of the split, and when Bitcoin BTC high fee coin did not go into these larger blocks, what happened was it opened up adoption for Ethereum. Ethereum came out, blew my mind when I first heard about it. It literally, like, I was locked in a freaking room for, I'm exaggerating here, but like for a weekend, like 2 or 3 weekends in a row, where all I wanted to do was read and watch videos about Ethereum, like learning about it. It was just like it is so world changing. I mean, what Ethereum has done. Bitcoin Cash, the Bitcoin chain, it already had what's called Turing complete. Now, Turing completeness is allowing an extra layer of adoption on the chain to be built on, meaning that like another company could install their DApp, decentralized application, onto it and build onside the blockchain. This is now coming out and launching next month with Bitcoin Cash. Okay, so it'll be in direct competition with Ethereum. All right, and those who are following it very closely, you know that Ethereum has scaling issues. They're very clear about that. It's doing fine now, but even last year it was slow and expensive when the demand was too high. There's a lot of scaling issues they're trying to solve. Casper's coming out. But listen, this is inspired by you, Chris. And the last thing I want to share with you is, I read the white paper. It came out in 2008. I didn't read it till much later, but the actual white paper, it's like only 8 pages. You know, the first few pages are like somewhat digestible. Then after that, it's like, whoa, dude. You know, your mind starts going into jelly because it's just so deep. But it's definitely worth really reading and trying to understand, to learn about this new world, what's going on with the problem that it solved by solving the double spend issue. But it was written by this guy called Satoshi Nakamoto. It was an anonymous Japanese alias. No one knows who it was or what it is. But much later on, there was a guy who was, a good description was like he was blackmailed or threatened. Something happened to where he had to leave his country, move to London, come out and tell everyone in one time in an interview that he was the guy behind the Satoshi Nakamoto project. And he says, I'm coming out, I'm saying it now, one time, don't ever ask me about this again. It was like really uncomfortable, like he was being blackmailed, something was going on. Now, anybody say that, but this, it's like, oh, it's crap. It actually was verified by 3 people, 3 very important people in the original project. One being Gavin Andreessen, who was the number 2 guy directly next to the Satoshi Nakamoto, meaning that when Satoshi left the project, the creator, the inventor, he handed the ropes over to this guy, Gavin Andreessen. Now, nobody owns Bitcoin. Like there's no company. It's completely decentralized. But we're talking developers. He handed the ropes over to this developer. Now, this guy, Gavin Andreessen, he met and flew out to meet this guy who claimed to be Satoshi, to find out if he really was. He proved to him through the cryptographic keys that he actually had the keys to the 1 million Bitcoin, okay, that Satoshi has. He has those keys. He proved it. People online say, oh, why doesn't he show the whole world that? I mean, you show everyone that, there's always hackers out there that they're gonna take your information. And come on, that's insane. So he showed them privately to very high-level people, and those high-level people like Gavin Andreessen came out and said, I verified this. This is real. I believe this is the guy. He's proven it to me. Ultimately, the guy's name is Craig Wright. Now, until you actually fully begin to understand the depth and knowledge and brilliance of this man and his company N-Chain and his burning desire, his obsession to bring peer-to-peer electronic cash to the world on the Bitcoin Cash chain, not BTC, high fee, slow coin, but on this chain, you'll understand now a little bit more about what's coming. Because think, the guy who actually invented it, who actually started the whole thing, he came out once, nobody was listening, people calling names, haters gonna hate, but those who really understand what's going on have taken a deep technological look at this. Understand that this guy actually was in charge of the Satoshi Nakamoto project. I believe he was. There's plenty of information that says now he's basically spearheading the Bitcoin Cash development. And there's nobody that can stop him with the amount of unlimited money that he has, not to mention the 1 million Bitcoin that he's sitting on. The guy's arguably a multi-billionaire with his companies. Okay, this guy is bringing it out furiously. I challenge you to watch his interviews and really understand what's going on in his head and his mind. And it's not his company, but he's one of the key players involved. I just think it's important that I get this out to you guys. It's a long video, but it's an important one. Do your own homework. I'm coming to you with this information, Chris, and all you other young men, freaking aesthetic masters out there, that this is where we're going. Wallet. Put it on there. Throw it in a safe. Revisit it around Christmas time. Okay? I'll put a link for Binance in the description. If you haven't already gotten on there, I'll find my link. I'll put it in there. You guys can sign up and use that. Email me. If you need any help with it, I'll be happy to. Chris, you inspired me to put this out there. Thank you. I'm all done.